No,
It feels
it
very
really
K-Ball
doesn't. Yeah. It definitely does. But we've been surprised before, so definitely using a lot of this bonus time though. Both teams actually very low on bonus time. Again, just showing the gravity of the situation.
Games, man. This really makes me feel like they've been scrimming. Rona! I like her.
I don't know if I like it into Lyra.
Yeah, well, okay. You have to be careful with, jumping into the fray with if she has bright bulwark up, but that's a long cooldown. And if you know that's down, you jump in, just spin to win.
I want to see some blue power in.
Oh! You could. These are pretty squishy targets.
Yeah. I know. I feel it. And with the fortress too.
Oh! That's jetpacksy.
I love the fortress here. I absolutely love the fortress here with this composition.
Mortal wounds.
Hello, Dragon Blood contracts.
Oh, nom nom nom.
Like mortal wounds, movement speed increase for Rona. Oh, that's such a good pick here.
This is okay. I vote for SK.
We haven't even seen Fnatic's last pick.
Doesn't matter, bro.
I almost feel like Fnatic needs the curl here. Like 100%.
I think that works though?
I think it does. I think you need to be able to try and get those weakness stacks built up on the Rona for while she's spinning, just taking her damage down. Rona's also going to be in place, but it's going to be a Samuel 100% SK.
They will have a range advantage with this composition. Samuel's going to shore up some of the weaknesses that Vox is going to have.
But they have the engage.
They have the engage.
Also,
I mean,
you have to get through the Oblivion, though. It's kind of like earlier we saw Glaive. He can just afterburn through it and get through it really fast.
But different heroes we're seeing. Fortress and Arona coming out as SK.
Yeah, Fortress has been creeping back into the meta ever since the changes in the update 2.2. I think Fortress has kind of been finding a way back in, especially against things like Vox, because it helps you chase them down, helps you get that movement speed. And this actually could be Kabalafar taking Rona to the lane, because this is not something that he is kind of a stranger to. He has played this on multiple occasions. Actually looks like Jetpacks and Kabalafar. The issue is that I'm going to have is against a Lyra and a Vox, you are going to get punished quite heavily.
Yeah, the outrange potential is just so massive. And Techno decided, you know what, I'm going to take the Vox. We're not having it this game. I'm surprised they didn't ban it away, but it must have been a first pick or something along those lines. And Lyra, there's two massive picks on the board for Fnatic.
Yeah, I'm not so convinced that Vox is like that strong that you need to first pick him, because I do think that there are counters available. For instance, Ringo in lane does pretty well against Vox, for instance. So if you let Vox up, you probably have a decent idea of how you want to go about playing against him. And I think SK are the kind of team, especially with the mind of Kabalafar. Kabalaf's got a great strategic mind behind him. With the mind of Kabalafar there, you're probably going to be fine to sort of, I guess, essentially have some sort of strategy against the Vox.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Very smart player, and two X-Team secret players facing off against each other as well. Something we definitely wanted to see, and something we talked about as well. I mean, so much history between these two players, and it's really, really interesting to see them actually play against each other. And Palmatoro doing a lot of damage to Jetpacks. I mean, they seem to just have the push advantage on this mission wave consistently.
By the way, Jetpack started with Protector contracts and Iron Guard contracts. So he's not actually built any items. He's just gone full like shielding, which I suppose is okay, because obviously the shielding versus this Lyra and Vox is going to be fairly influential. But the problem is you do delay your fountain ever so slightly. So I guess at this point SK is saying we don't want to fight, like we're not fighting anytime soon. So I would imagine that is the only reason why he started this particular build.
How can he hold all those contracts? Well, doesn't need to hold them anymore. He's got Life Spring. That'll be all right. At least one item on the board for him. Very, very close to the fountain at last. But I cannot believe Lyra was let through yet again. But then Adagio obviously was let through as well.
Yeah, so that's the general trade that you see made. If Lyra and Adagio make it through the ban phase, one team gets Lyra, one team gets Adagio. And I would actually almost argue that maybe Lyra is more influential, but teams seem to be perfectly fine. One thing I do want to point out, by the way, is we're seeing Tyra's go Agent of Wrath and maxing that first, which sometimes you see the max Gift of Fire because obviously the healing is so strong, but you're actually seeing Tyra's max Gift of Wrath, which I guess is because you want to combo with the Fortress and just go all in here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, no. All right. We got too excited too quick.
I got a little bit too excited.
Yeah. we're not back in the action. Sorry, guys. No action just yet. But they are pushing up to the tower. However, I speak too soon as they jump straight in jetpacks. Just the monumental force that is Fortress.
Look at the
is just going to
damage!
jump on. And yet, Net did not stand a chance. That Rona damage as well. My goodness, they're going to have to be careful of Cavalifar.
This, in my opinion, by maxing Agent of Wrath first, you're sending a message of we're aiming to, or rather at least getting 3 points in it. I don't know whether he's actually going to full max it, but...
Oh dear, hang on a minute, we got a flank here, and that might just work out for them. However, they might just be able to get out of there. Palmatoro is going to be able to walk out nice and safely, but yeah, I mean, Tyros is sending a message, and he's sending it strong.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as the fact that you've got jetpacks in this fortress, every time you have your A up, you're going to be looking to just pull the trigger, get onto one of the backline carries, especially with the Rona, who hits pretty hard in the early game as well. And obviously, Tyra's, with the Agent of Wrath getting a couple of points in early on, it gives you extra burst damage to your basic attacks. So, you know, I guess you're just looking to put the pressure onto Vox and Samuel while you can, and continually look to force fights to stop Techno getting towards that magical 3-item spike that the Vox so enjoys. Already got the breaking point though, Jaws, so he's already 1/3 of the way there.
Oh dear. Well, we've seen what happened previously when 2 of the monocles were completed alongside the breaking point. It just really, that's the end, I think, for a lot of teams, at least in the team fights, if the Vox is untouched. But we'll see if that does come about. And yet again, we're seeing a lot more contracts being picked up into later stages of the game. I mean, Mari's just got one now. It's kind of an interesting build, because it's not something that I've seen all too often.
No, I haven't seen it too much either, but essentially it's 240 shielding across 2 charges, so 120 shield charge. And that's not talking about the shielding that protects you from crystal power damage. I'm talking about, you know, flat actual shield, almost like fortified health. And again, I suppose it's really valuable at keeping specific targets alive, especially in the earlier fights where things can be so influential. So I like this. I think it's a perfectly cool and acceptable thing to pick up here for both of these captain players. I think SK definitely the ones that are going to want to pull the trigger here. All that movement speed from the Fortress, all the movement speed that Rona has as well. They're just wanting to look to fight, brawl, you know, go toe-to-toe. I think Cavalifar's now waiting for his level 6, which he is very almost at, by the way.
Yeah, and that's when he gets the red mist to hopefully turn one of them into red mist. And one of my favourite actual abilities in the game, Attack of the Pack.
I love all of the Law of the Claw, Truth of the Tooth, Attack of the Pack. They just feel really nice to say, you know.
Yeah, it's really fluid. Well, they might turn into fluid in a minute. No, Toilette, it's going to be all right. They're going to get chased up. And the thing I think that is scary is that you just mentioned it. They're just going to run at you. And that Rona is going to do so much damage, coupled with obviously the movement speed as well. It's so terrifying. In fact, I don't know, JJ's on the other end of that damage. It's just gonna have to hop away. And the thing is with Vox, obviously, so much mobility on him. He can play fairly safe in this lane.
One of the main things that we will have to keep an eye on is Net Toilette and use of Bright Bulwark, though, because one thing that will stop a Fortress engage right in its tracks is a Bright Bulwark as you're trying to jump into the fray, because you just get stuck on the edge and suddenly you're slow, suddenly you can't get to that back line. And Samuel and Vox are incredible kiting heroes. Sonic Zoom, as well as Samuel's ability to kite with Drifting Dark, are very strong. Actually, Net Toilette getting caught out here.
Hang on a minute, yeah, it does pop the ult. Everybody's going to follow through, though. And there's nothing that can save you now, not even Oblivion. Palmatoro just tried to get it off, but it will result in a kill. And another one on the board. However, it doesn't look like Fnatic are done just yet. Cavalifar going fairly low, but they're going to make it out alive.
A little bit of shielding coming out from the protected contract there. Yeah, making sure that Cavalifar made it out squeaky clean. Didn't necessarily need that, though. But again, you can see how it could be useful. I would have maybe liked to have seen Palmatore gone a Frostburn here, you know, first item. We saw most Samuels go Frostburn first item. I probably would have liked to have seen Palmatore do that, because it just makes it even harder for Rona, for Fortress to find their targets, even, you know, beyond the Bright Bulwark. But he's gone for the Eve of Harvest, which gives him a little bit extra sustain. But I don't think sustain is the name of the game. I definitely think control is the name of the game here for Fnatic. So I think, you know, having a Frostburn might be a little more appropriate, but maybe he's building towards it next.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, yeah, like I said, even Harvest is finished, so nice bit of damage on his side. However, Techno JJ, he's got his first monocle finished, and that will mean only one more until he can, well, maybe pop off. We'll have to wait and see. But Cavalifar, I'm so scared of Jetpacks and Cavalifar right now, honestly. Just even looking at this, I'm just so scared for Netwella or Techno JJ, because they're going to have such a nightmare just kiting back. But like you said, that's going to be their strength. They're going to have to make sure they can control the fight, rather than obviously let Jetpacks and Cavalifar just jump on them.
Also got to keep an eye out on Tyros on this CP Adagio. He'll do a lot of damage now he's finished this alternating current. They're actually feeling pretty confident to sort of wander into the Fnatic side jungle. Not going to really pull the trigger though, as Crystal Sentry has actually just decided to reset Adagio. He'll do a lot of damage now he's finished this alternating current. They're actually feeling pretty confident to sort of wander into the Fnatic side jungle. Not going to really pull the trigger though, as Crystal Sentry has actually just decided to respawn, so might be a bit more difficult, although they jump in.
There we go, and they're getting turned to mist almost. They do end up walking away. Here comes the Sentries for some backup. Go, Sentry, go! They're trying to do something. Oblivion lands on 2 people, however, in the back line. Jetpack's just tanking up a little bit of that damage in the front, just making sure the rest of SK can get out of there. And that was kind of a failed dive from SK. However, Fnatic did a fantastic job of just kiting away.
Yeah, Crucible probably needed fairly soon for that Oblivion, because one Oblivion onto that front line will stop them in their tracks when trying to chase down the back line of Fnatic. My worry for SK is that eventually, you know, once Bright Bulwark is being used properly, once the kiting from the Vox and Palmatorio comes through, if Frostburn gets completed, I think there might be too many barriers for them to have to overcome to actually find any form of kill. We'll have to see though. I always felt like Fortress is one of those captain heroes that kind of pushes the early game advantage. And while SK have got a small early game advantage, it's literally just 1,500 gold. It's not like they're rolling in money that they have sort of accrued from the early game. So keep an eye here. I definitely think if the game stretches out, Fnatic have the upper hand.
Rolling in dough. Well, yeah, neither of the teams are right now. Goldminer is obviously on the board. No one contesting it. Everybody just kind of shopping, rather dangerously, in fact. And I'm quite surprised here that SK just haven't gone for something off cooldown. I mean, Attack of the Pack is off cooldown in a couple of seconds, so they might want to look for something now, just making sure they can get on top of Fnatic. And in fact, that's what they want to do. I just predicted that entirely. And they just back off. All right, fair enough. Maybe I didn't.
Pat yourself on the back there, Jules.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
I think the worry for Fnatic is because they need to be the ones to force things. So again, I like the fact they're going for Goldmine here. They need to be the ones to start pressuring. They need to be the ones to say, no, you've got to come to us, otherwise we start to take things away. Oh, they do get it and they're going in.
Yeah, Attack of the Pack is running in. They're trying to run them down. However, yet again, Fnatic. I just get so excited to see SK are just diving in, but instantly, Netwella is there. Nope. Presses the B, see you later, and everybody just disengages,
Exactly.
and that's just so frustrating.
Exactly, and that is the worry with the SK composition. You know, one Bright Bulwark and suddenly you can't do anything. So this is kind of what I expected to see as this game was going on. Techno JJ, Sonic zooms out, and suddenly Cavalifar can't even catch up. And if that is a Frostburn, you know, over something like a potential Broken Myth, which definitely would be the better damage item for Palmatorio second, there's almost next to no way that I actually think a Bright Bulwark itself is enough if placed correctly. But obviously Frostburn just makes it even harder for SK to find a fight.
Yeah, and that's why we were discussing earlier. We said, you know, Lyra, I'm happy to see her in the games, but it's just, there's a reason why she's so, she is hotly contested, just because that Bright Bulwark, a massive disengage tool, and even sometimes a massive engage tool. You can kind of zoom in with your ult, Bright Bulwark, hey, you're all slowed up, no worries, we'll just catch up to you that way, and mobility is insane.
It's almost unparalleled as a disengage tool, which is why it's really good with compositions that want to scale and compositions that need to buy time. Because it's almost impossible through a Bright Bulwark to actually find a fight. And that's why you see SK, they're trying with all of their might, but there's no way they can get it, no way they can find the right opportunity. And SK may be looking for a flank play here.
They need to do it. Bright Bulwark already been used. It does dissuade SK, but I think now's their chance to go in if they want to. However, Fnatic, they just have so much time to kind of regroup and even just sit there for a little bit and poke back. And there we go. They're just going to push up to the turret.
Bright Bulwark came out, they were too close to their own turret, SK couldn't find the engage. And I feel like this will be the story of the game, unless they can find a flank, unless they can force the Bright Bulwark out and then engage afterwards. I definitely feel like this is going to be a real issue. And I feel like I can't talk about it enough. It just kind of stops everything that SK want to do in their tracks. Palmatorio has actually gone for the Broken Myth second, so damage output will be through the roof at this point compared to the Frostburn build. Are relying on Netwella only to look for the disengage though, but you would feel that with the box with the Samuel, they've got enough kite to be able to deal with SK's composition anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. And with that, I think, do you think SK should just kind of turret dive at this point? So they just get on top of Netwella, or are they just going to be disengaged on? Because there's so many zoning abilities as well. Palmatoro, king of zoning abilities, obviously on the Samuel. It's just an absolute nightmare for them. Do you think, or is this a wild accusation that maybe they got a little bit outdrafted?
I definitely feel like they got slightly outdrafted. I think the Lyra is the only thing that's kind of outdrafted them here, because otherwise with the Fortress you can actually quite happily catch up to box with Samuel. But with the Lyra it makes it next to nigh impossible. I do like what SK did though, taking out the Bristol Sentry, getting rid of those lives, basically saying at any point, you know, if we're trying to force an engage, you won't be able to collapse back into your own jungle. Here goes SK.
Well, speaking of a force of an engage, they've now split up the entire team. This is exactly what they needed. Oblivion goes down. It is going to be Reflex Block, however, but Cavalify is in the front line. Red Mist is going to be used, but no kills just yet. How are Fnatic still alive? In fact, how are they getting kills off the back of this? Tenento JJ walking forward, just like, all right, I dash into two of you, gets the double kill. And now Cavalify is having to run away. Scoundrel, like SK just cannot catch a break.
Well, they can't catch a break. They can't catch a member of Fnatic.
Exactly.
This is, like you said, I feel like they've just been outdrafted here. Cavalifar now stuck in the Bright Bulwark, has to run away. Prince of Arcanum slows him down. But Techno JJ's at that magical breaking point double Tyrant's monocle at this point in time. And they're going to get a turret, the first turret of the game actually going over to Fnatic. I actually don't know if there's anything that SK can do at this point in time. I really don't. I suppose maybe get the CP Adagio to late game and maybe have him potentially out-trade Vox, but even that's going to be difficult. He's going to need some armor if he wants to do that. And just on a Broken Myth and an alternating current, you're not going to out-trade the Breaking Point Double Tyrant's monocle of Techno JJ. Don't feel like there's much that SK can do, Jaws.
I want to see if they can do something, because they've got a ferocious engage comp, but it's just not working out. Too much disengage on Fnatic side.
Well, they've got no repositioning tools. They've got nothing to actually put one of the Fnatic members in peril. They've just got we run at you. And what Lyra is very good at is dealing with we run at you. Do you know what Vox is very good at? Dealing with we run at you. Do you know what Samuel is very good at? Dealing with we run at you. They all do exactly what they need to into this composition, because they're very good at non-instantaneous gap closers, especially, you know, like when there's no glaive, for instance. If there was a glaive on SK's team, I would have said actually maybe we've got to fight.
Oh boy. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
That was it. Oh, hello, Fnatic. They're trading back in. Red Mist is going to be used. That's a lot of damage. Oblivion is going to completely separate the team of SK. However, they are coming on the pursuit. The Red Mist is coming through. It comes up huge. Adazio picks up the double kill. They've done it.
What?
They did it.
How did that? What?
Hang on a minute. What? SK, what are you doing?
No,
How did
like,
you do that?
no, not even that. Fnatic, what are you doing? You just face-checked Arona and you took Red Mist across the entirety of your team for way too long. Bright Bulwark held on forever. I don't know why Bright Bulwark was held on for that long.
It was on cooldown at the start of the fight. That's why. She used it really early and it was just off cooldown. That's why it got used so late.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
I think I feel like she used that a little bit too readily. They face checked Arona, and Rona just shredded them. That's the one way SK win, if Fnatic face checked them, and Fnatic just did.
Oh boy, we've got a game on our hands. SK. Remember, SK are 1-0 right now as well, up against Fnatic. They've just unleashed the Kraken as well. And I don't know what more can go wrong for Fnatic. All they need to do is disengage. But now they've got a Kraken to deal with as well. SK, I think this is their time to shine again.
Yeah, there is a turret to go through here, but it won't last very long against the Kraken. She is wandering up, and she is ready to take this turret down.
Oh boy.
There's the Bright Bulwark stopping the engage, and SK are forced to back off once more. But that A is overdriven. It's on a low cooldown. Jetpacks is ready to keep pulling the trigger.
Doing a lot of damage to that Kraken. That turret will fall, however. Bright Bulwark used. Oblivion needs to be used sometime soon as well. Red Mist also used just for the damage. Cavalifar only escaping with an inch of HP, but he will be alright. Kraken is going to fall, and that is, yet again, Fnatic just kind of playing on the back foot. However, they did exactly what they needed to do earlier, which is just trade back into them and almost knock out Cavalifar.
Exactly, that's the kind of fight that we expect from Fnatic. And if they don't face check SK, that's the fight that should, touch wood, always happen. So I think I think that SK were gifted that last team fight. I don't think that should be a regular occurrence for this Fnatic lineup, and I don't expect to see them make that mistake again. You can see flares from Net2LA all over the place. He's like, I don't want to make that face check play again. I'm going to keep complete sight of SK.
It's literally a flare every couple of seconds, just to make sure where you guys are. She's also got the war treads as well, so they maximum disengage potential. But I can imagine, I mean, the next fight, surely, if it doesn't go SK's way, I think, honestly, that is going to be Fnatic breaking the base, because they've got so much range damage as well. They can just easily take down the turrets.
Their siege is way better. Their siege is way better than SK's. SK have got more of a dive composition, more of an all-in composition. And that's not so good against what Fnatic are bringing. Fnatic, if they get to a turret, they've got great range potential, they've got great siege too. Although they can't actually go to their own jungle for solace right now, because remember, I think Crystal Sentry's lost its all 3 lives. So there's no more Crystal Sentry for Fnatic, so nothing to protect their jungle, which kind of means now there's a bit more free roam for SK. They can find more flank opportunities, and I think that's where they need to look to make happen. They need to find more flanks, because if you run at them head first, you know, that's not going to catch Fnatic off guard.
Definitely not. I mean, they've only been caught off guard once out of the few fights that we've seen. We'll see if SK do manage to do it. And yeah, a really, like, I guess heads up early play, right? Just taking out the Crystal Sentry over and over again, just making sure its lives get depleted to 0 so they can make those insane flanks.
Exactly.
SK looking for something.
They look like they're trying to make one happen again. Kvalifar jumps in.
He does jump in, but he's going to jump out again, because yet again, Fnatic, this disengage comp is just absolutely horrible to play against. However, SK, they want it. They're tempting it. Oblivion's going to come out. Red Mist as well. That's it. Excalibur, I think they've done it again. No, she gets sent to sleep, however, but the damage is going to get traded back. Palmatoro is completely untouched. However, Fnatic are going to come off worse in that trade. And oh boy, would you look at that. Just what's available for SK. They push Fnatic back, cracking on the ball.
Oh my word, I've got to give credit to Kvalifar there. Uses his B to gap close initially, forcing the Bright Bulwark from Net2LA, saves his into the fray till the Bright Bulwark is down, and then commits with it. But this is going to be a big fight around Kraken.
They need to go for
They steal it! They steal it!
They stole the Kraken! Fnatic have got the Kraken. SK need to trade something up really big here. They're just chasing down 10 to JJ really hard, and they can manage to pick him up. Net2LA is next on the menu. SK need to now pull back. Kraken is on their side of the lane. They need to get out of here. They pick up 1 kill, Scoundrel, but how? How did Net2LA steal that?
I think it was with the sigil, the Imperial Sigil. I'm not entirely sure, but, you know, Lyra is very good at doing that. Palmatoro may be overstepped.
Might have overstepped. Red Mist does come out. He takes a lot of damage. Oblivion only sleeping 1. Palmatoro still surviving somehow with the Lyra heals, but now he's completely separated from it. But it doesn't matter. The Kraken is knocking on their turrets. It's going to take another one down before they manage to get to it. They've picked up 2 kills, Scoundrel, but their turrets are falling.
The turrets are falling, but they should be able to take Kraken down before she gets the next one. Kvalifar got a very aggressive Rona build. I like this. He's actually not gone for the Atlas Cauldron, actually gone for the Full Metal Jacket. He might not be able to land those in the box and leaving that over to jetpacks. And he's actually going to go for a 3rd damage item. Some Ronas tend to stop after Breaking Point Serpent's Mask, but I actually think Kvalifar needs the extra damage here, because every single basic attack that he gets onto a carry from the lineup of Fnatic is going to be crucial in their chance for victory. You need to burst these members of Fnatic out before they can kite backwards.
Oh boy. This game is getting so tense. They are just, I can't believe SK are sometimes making these fights work, because realistically, Fnatic, they've got such an amazing comp, and you said, obviously, the kiting back is just an incredible, it's so incredible to when you pull it off, because SK just can't do anything. But with that Kraken steal, you know, if SK had gotten that one, I really wonder what would happen to Fnatic's base there.
Yeah, I think maybe they would have lost a lot more of their structures if they hadn't managed to pick up that kill onto TechnoJJ. TechnoJJ, real driving force behind taking the turrets here. So yeah, I think SK are definitely holding on to this one. They need to keep doing that sort of engage where they bait out the Bright Bulwark and then choose to engage afterwards, Jaws.
We'll have to wait and see if they do that, because that's I think that's been the catalyst of what happened the last couple of fights. The massive turnaround around 17 minutes or so. I think the Bright Bulwark was down. They re-engaged. Red Mist landed onto a few people, and that was it. Fnatic just dropped right there and then. and we'll see if they can do that. But I've got a feel, Xscoundrel, that Net Toilette, his cooldown is only going up. So that's going to be off cooldown very, very shortly, like time and time again, so they can just use it to disengage.
Yeah, there's a very limited opportunity, Jaws, where they can actually find the opportunity to find a fight. So I think that, again, SK have to bait it out and then pull the trigger immediately after it drops off cooldown.
See if they can do that. They're kind of just chilling right now. They're chilling in the Fnatic side jungle. They want to find this opportunity. You can see flares just popping out left, right, and center. There must be so much like flared debris as well all over the fold. Like there's so many flares on this map right now. They're, like the canisters being left everywhere. Got to think of the litter. Got to pick up after yourself. I don't know where I was going with that.
Dog. You know, you've got a fortress who's a wolf. You know, maybe that's where you would go with it.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to find an engage. Kraken is yet again on the field. Will they be able to go for it? I mean, Fnatic, I think Fnatic, do they just kind of need to wait for SK to start up the Kraken and then go for it themselves?
Yeah, potentially. And I think SK are the team that has to make the decision to go for Kraken, because if they just linger around, Cavalify again baits out the bright ball up with his B. Are we going to see a re-engage? Nope.
This is what they need to do, but yep, Fnatic yet again just so good at pressing SK as soon as that blind bulwark comes out.
They're going in though, whoa!
Hang on a minute, blind bulwark, Oblivion as well. No, they didn't hit anybody at all, and that means Tautoro JJ is completely caught up in the midst of it. Somehow still surviving, I'm not entirely sure, but there we go. Fortress goes down, and then one traded as well. Lyra's going to fall to Adagio. Another kill traded backwards and forwards. SK and Fnatic, Palmatoro versus Tyras. Is he going to be able to do anything? Oblivion's coming through. It's a lot of damage, a lot of big potential. Surely he's going to get it, but the heals are going to come
Look
through.
at the damage!
Wait, maybe not. No, he didn't manage to get it. Ace comes through. That means he's got the ace buff on his side. What can he do?
I don't know if he can finish the game, Jaws, but he can definitely do some real damage here. Tyra's managed to bait Palmatoro into range of that Gift of Fire. What an engage, though. They run straight in, and it's not actually Cavalifar the one to initiate this time round, so it completely catches Fnatic off guard. Tyra's runs in, gets a massive Verse of Judgment down, deals a huge chunk of damage, and then that allows Cavalifar the time and space. I don't think he can go for the win here. Too low on the death timers, and I think Tyra's knows it. He gets one turret and backs out.
Oh man, one turret's better than none. And the gold lead now is stretching up to 4K. I mean, gold is nothing at this point, right? Like, it's just not really, it's meaningless in this sense. It's all about catching the opponent out. However, 3 towers left. Turrets even to 2. Kraken on the board. 5 to 10 as well. This is the thing. SK have got way more kills than Fnatic do, but Fnatic are just so good at disengaging.
Yeah, again, you saw how long it took for Cavalifar and Tyras to actually pick up kills there. And even at the end of it, even though SK got the engage that they wanted, it was still a very close 3 for 2 at the end of it, where it could have gone either way between Tyras and Palmatoro. But Tyras obviously baiting Palmatoro into Gift of Fire range gave him that slight advantage. Definitely feel like SK are winning these by absolute threads. How long will those threads last before they break? It looks like they're going to run straight down lane, though. They're going to force Fnatic to come to them.
Oh wow, yeah, this is exactly what they need. I mean, Fnatic, if they do engage, however, oh no, they're just going to recall. That's a really heads-up play actually from Fnatic. Instead of like coming round from the side, just retreat your base. But look at Cavalifar, Xscoundrel, red mist,
he's basically
on the Kraken.
He's trying to solo Kraken right now, but I think Fnatic are wise to this, or are they wise to this? Look at Jetpacks and Tyras; they're completely baiting this out.
I don't think Fnatic know. Now, I think they've tweaked on because Jetpacks, they are retreating. Kraken's going really low. Fnatic, they need to do something. Attack of the Pack is coming in. Fnatic get jumped on the end again. Red Mist on the 3 people. They need to just do it now. They need to end. SK, if they can get this fight, they've won the whole game. SK, they go down. One falls, but Fortress picks up a kill. Palmatoro in a lot of trouble. Xscoundrel, they've done it. Oh, have they? I don't know. This keeps going backwards and forward. Jetpack, what was that? Ace comes through. Fnatic come on top. These fights are too close to call.
These fights are so close between two evenly matched teams. I really feel like Techno JJ has to be the target that you take down for Fnatic first, and he bought enough time. That was almost a brilliant, genius play there by Fnatic. They almost bought enough time for Cavalifar to solo out the Kraken, but not quite. And now Techno JJ is going to try and kite this Kraken around. This crit build that he has decided to go down with the Poison Shiv at the end of it. What a heads up buy. That's going to really shut down Cavalifar in these team fights. And actually, Techno JJ might be able to absolutely solo this.
I think so. It's going to reset. Oh, he got it. It's fine. It's fine. Techno JJ, can he do it actually? He's falling in HP. This is the problem. Couple more hits from the Kraken will do it, but I think he's got it, Scoundrel. Completely soloing out the Kraken. Oh, he almost swung at him there. Completely soloing that out. And now they can just run down the lane with this Kraken. There's no way SK can get on top of them.
Wow. What a play from Techno JJ, doing what Kavalafa could not, and by himself as well. Excellent kiting skills against the Kraken. And SK are now on the back burner. I mean, they've really got to find it in them to win a fight here. They may be looking to make a flank play. Jetpack's stepping up, but I don't know, maybe Kavalafa's looking to jump in behind. Just really surprise them.
Might be a heads-up play from him, but Fnatic, they know something's up. Here we go. Fortress jumps in, and Oblivion is not going to come out. There it is, finally. Red Mist coming through, doing so much damage to Fnatic, but they are kiting back perfectly. Oh my goodness, this could go either way. Again, Techno, he just needs to kite back. That crit build doing so much work. The Kraken, meanwhile, is going to be able to take
Oh, look at him go!
The Red Mist comes through again, comes up huge.
Can't believe it!
Palmatoro falls. It's the Kraken versus the entire squad of SK as soon as they take out Palmatoro, but he's still alive. Scoundrel, how are they doing this?
Oh my God.
Traded up a kill. This is going to be a base race. 2 SK members versus the Kraken. Which one will win? I'm not entirely sure. Kraken's at least going to get 1 turret. What is going on?
Oh, Kavalafar and Tyra is now versus. They should be able to do this more quickly than the Kraken. They have the turret advantage.
Kavalafar!
They're taking out the second.
They're going to do it. Kavalafar's going to do it. Look at the damage from him. The Vein Crystal's going to fall as well. SK Gaming, they take a 2-0 in this best of 3. Fnatic, they had the perfect composition to take out SK, but they didn't manage to do it. 2-0 SK.
What did I just see?